You are listening to the Exceptional Conservative Network. For more information, go to www.theexceptionalconservativeshow.com.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it.
This was 50
My life
fucking years
has
ago.
value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!
Good day to you all. Welcome to the new, I'm your host, Randy Purham. And happy Friday. Happy Fantastic Friday. Happy Red Friday. And this is the time that we take to thank our men and women who are serving our nation from around the world. We salute you. We thank you for your sacrifices, commitments, and your contributions to keeping our freedoms intact, our way of life stable, and hope that you all make it home from wherever you may be, serving our country from around the world safely, and return back to your loved ones as if you never left. So we thank you, and we salute you once again. So, I hope you all had a great week. It's been a pretty busy week myself this week. It's just been madness. But nonetheless, got through it. I'm here with you all today, by the grace of God, of course. And so, we got my good friend Mark Woodhead is back with us today. And we're going to get into some things. But before we get into today's topics, Mark, are you there?
Hope so.
Good deal, good deal. Do you have any opening remarks you'd like to make?
Your opener, that was 50 years ago. That was 50 years ago, and those are all still legitimate gripes and complaints.
You're right.
News headlines, all of it. 50
You're right.
years. 50 years, we hadn't done nothing.
Mm-hmm. Mm. You know, I played that originally. I started playing that think it was Monday's show. It was the first time, and that's from the movie Network. It was made in 1976.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think about it. You're right. That has been. That was almost 50 years. Yeah, you're right. But things were going on, of course, leading up to 1976 already. It was in the late 60s. With dealing with the Cuban Missile Crisis. The rise of communism. The Bay of Pigs and stuff. So I mean, it was yeah. It's like a perpetual cycle. It's just different people. So when and how do we change it, and when does it end? That's a question that remains to be unanswered for eternity.
No, I'll tell you right now.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Since you asked, is to elect people like you to positions of power. Period.
That's a start. That is a start.
You got to pick your politicians, because 50 years, these are the same freaking problems. The same problems. They ain't doing nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
Hell,
right.
friggin' Biden was there. Biden was there to do what? We're going on 48 years of him being in power. Pelosi, McConnell. There's too many of them, been there too long, and don't do a damn thing.
Yeah. They're constantly, getting rich, buying bigger mansions, bigger boats, bigger bank account, bigger stock portfolios, and the rest of us
even
sit
Bernie,
around and we're not getting mad about it. We're not saying, hey, you're out of here next term. Thank you for your service. Thank you for playing.
Yep.
Goodbye. Let's get this 18-year-old kid in there and see what crazy ideas they come up with. And then after 2 years, kick their ass out, and you just keep the cycle going. But we don't care enough as Americans. We don't care. We sit around. We've gotten to the I'm mad as hell, but we haven't gotten to the we're not going to take this anymore. Right.
Part.
Yep. Exactly. Great point. Great point. So what's new in your neck of the woods?
Well, it's unseasonably warm today, so I can't even complain about the weather, which really takes all the fun out of life sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it is. It's 70. It got to around 70 degrees yesterday here, and it was pretty warm this morning when I went to go take my daughter to work at 5:30 a.m. It was pretty warm at that point too. I was like, it's gonna be probably a hot day today. So yeah, it's crazy. Here we are in not even the middle of February yet, but it's warm. So it's climate change real.
Yeah, we gotta try to figure out maple syrup season with what the freaking temperatures are doing, and I don't know. Like it's a mess. Like the trees got their deep freeze, but now we got to try to look at the extended forecast to see if the weather's going to even sort of try to cooperate. So, yeah, you can see behind me, those are maple trees. That's what we do.
Sweet. Yeah. Hey, we're gonna let's jump to our first commercial break, and when we come back, we're gonna get hot and heavy into some topics here. So, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yay.
Ladies and gentlemen, keep it locked right here. We'll be right back in a couple of minutes, so stay tuned.
You are listening to the Exceptional Conservative Network. For more information, go to www.theexceptionalconservativeshow.com.
Everything that's reported on television isn't always true, but it should be. NTD, the power of truth. Now available 24/7 on television and streaming platforms.
Greetings, Student Generation Army. I'm so grateful to be connected with you, my listeners. You are some of the most engaged, responsive, loving, and caring people I know. I need to bring to your attention an urgent need for our ministries in India. While there has become a focus on the Uyghurs in China, our ministries in Jammu, Kashmir, and Punjab are being terrorized by those same Uyghurs, the Taliban, and the mounting CCP army at the border of India. Between these threats and the lockdowns, we find ourselves in need of additional financial support. I'm asking for your help to support these pastors and their families, our orphans, our widows, our Bible students, and our community outreaches. $15 will feed a pastor's family for a month. $20 funds our sewing school instructor, and $150 a week funds our base operations, the orphans, the Bible school students, even the sewing school, and our senior Indigenous pastor Samuel. So please go to paypal.me/Pastor Greg. That's paypal.me/Pastor Greg. Or you can call me at 209-380-8654, 209-380-8654 to make your donation over the phone. Please call us, contact me today, and make your best donation. Thank you, and God bless you.
You are listening to the Exceptional Conservative Network. For more information, go to www.theexceptionalconservativeshow.com.
Hey, welcome back. So, we have with us today Mark Woodhead. He's out on the semi-East Coast. I don't think we ever disclosed your exact location, so I'll leave that.
North Central Pennsylvania.
What's that?
North Central Pennsylvania.
Okay, North Central, PA. And so, Mark, tell me your thoughts on the Job Corps. Is Job Corps living up to the muster that it once did in these modern times?
Well, the problem with Job Corps is a lot of people don't know anything about it. And it's actually, my son is in Job Corps. I'm one of the biggest cheerleaders for Job Corps. They have their own problems, government run, Department of Labor, stuff like that, but they're literally giving my son the ability to have a good life. He's basically a high school dropout. Good kid. It's not that he's dumb. He was just unmotivated until he figured something out that he wanted to do, and Job Corps could provide that for everybody. He was about 19 years old when he went into it. He applied for it, got accepted, and they gave him a high school equivalency, and they're teaching him a real craft, and that's welding. He wanted to weld. They're teaching him how to weld.
Wow.
And the best part about this is he's about 85% the way through his course. 90%, what they set up an interview process with other companies, outside companies, and he can, choose what he wants to do, what he wants to specialize in, where he wants to go, and they will temporarily provide him with housing, and it's a guaranteed job and training. And so he's 21 years old. He's walking into, by all means, basically a high school dropout. He's going to be able to walk into a $25 an hour job.
Nice. That's
not just welding. It's not just welding. They offer auto mechanics, nursing. Any trade, construction. You name it. They probably have instruction in it. It's an amazing. It's just an amazing organization that nobody knows about. And all these people that are crying like, well, I don't have a chance, or I can't do nothing. They don't know about the Job Corps, and that just appalls me. Okay, you don't need to have a high school degree to go to Job Corps. They'll give you a GED equivalency. They'll give you either an equivalency or a GED. They'll help you with that, and they'll teach you a real job, a real trade.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. A lot of people don't know about Job Corps, and I think it's to the fault of their marketing department. Job Corps, because they've been around for 50 years now. And since the
Hmm.
early 70s, the organization was created, and they to date, because I looked it up last night, they have only trained 2 million people. It blew my mind. I was thinking they were going to be able to provide stats of how many people they train, because they've been around so long, and we're a pretty big country, but they actually had the audacity to put up a measly 2 million people that they trained. So it spoke volumes to me that their marketing department sucks, and they're not, and their
Nobody knows about
outreach.
them.
Yeah, their
Well,
outreach.
in the
Go, mhm.
in the last 30 years, how many people have been promoting the trades? It's
That's
all
true
been
too.
go to college, make a good living. You got to go to college. You don't want to be. My grandfather, dumped that into my head. You don't want to be a ditch digger your life. You better go get a good education. Education doesn't do you nothing. I
Hmm.
have a college degree. I can't get a job in, and it ain't underwater basket weaving. It's computer programming.
Yep,
I
yep.
can't find a job. So, in hell, if I would have known about Job Corps when I was 18 years old, I probably wouldn't be a veteran. I'd probably be a welder or a plumber, friggin' electrician. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I probably wouldn't have went in the military because I didn't know I had options.
Hmm. Right, right. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I was saying, it goes back to the marketing and the word of mouth, the exposure that lacks in Job Corps. I don't know if I'm almost to the point of thinking that it's by design, that they don't want too many people knowing about it, because then their system becomes overwhelmed with people who legitimately want to get that skill set and to be able to get a job. So the onesies and twosies in each county that may know about it cycle through every couple of years, and here we are now at only 2 million people that have been trained through Job Corps, and there you go. But yet we have insurmountable amount of homeless people, both from the veteran and the civilian side of the population. We have high school dropouts. We have college dropouts. We have just everyday, citizens who can't find a job, although the age restrictions is, I believe it's 18 to 24. It's the 24 years old is the cutoff age to partake in Job Corps, but still, that's still your
No,
college
no, they
age.
have.
Hmm.
Let me correct you. They have additional programs.
Okay.
The your bottom level Job Corps is the like 16 to 24 range, but
Hmm.
they have something like vocational rehab through the VA.
Yep.
Yeah, they have a similar thing. I think it goes up to about 40 years old,
Okay. Yeah. See.
where they'll give you similar opportunities.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's great. That's great. But once again, their marketing sucks. So whoever their marketing director
Oh,
is,
absolutely.
you're
Nobody knows
fired.
about this.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's crazy
Nobody
because
knows
I
about this.
think I think the unemployment rate, and we're going to talk about the unemployment rate in the next segment, but the unemployment and the I guess you say this dystopian idea that there's no jobs available is because organizations like this don't let people know that they exist to help them find these jobs. And of course, there's probably some nepotism going on, along with that as well.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like try to get into the railroad business.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 You're right. You're right. So, I'm happy for your son going into welding. That is a up and coming. It's coming back into demand type of job. So, with a lot of the green, the push for green and everything, so that they're going towards, solar panel building and all kinds of stuff now, so he's not gonna be without work. He's gonna be quite busy and making a killing. So
Oh, there's
tell him I said
if you need metal
congratulations
put
on that.
together, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. So I'm checking time. Yes, we're gonna jump to another commercial break real quick, and when we come back, we're gonna definitely get into this whole unemployment thing. So stick around, folks. We'll see you in a couple minutes.
Oh, you're in for it.
You are listening to the Exceptional Conservative Network. For more information, go to www.theexceptionalconservativeshow.com.
Hello, everyone. This is Global Impact with David McQuell, your host. Isaiah chapter 2, verses 1 to 5 says that a time is coming when the church will rise in authority and influence and dominate the earth. And many nations will come and say, "Teach us the ways of the Lord." Global Impact is a show that inspires you as a Christian to rise up through the values of the kingdom of God and shine as light wherever you may be. We believe that missions is no longer limited to some isolated, unreached community in some dark continent. The church should reach out to all aspects of life, including politics, business, science and research, the media and diplomacy, and every aspect of human life. Join us on Global Impact, Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time and 6 p.m. GMT. Global Impact is broadcast on tecntv.com. Join us.
You are listening to the Exceptional Conservative Network. For more information, go to www.theexceptionalconservativeshow.com.
Hey, welcome back. Just so you know, David Quell will be on immediately following today's program, my program, immediately following me at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So be sure you stick around to tecntv.com and check him out on there. He is bringing the fire out of Nigeria, for real, for real. He's doing great things out there, and we on this side of the pond is tremendously appreciative of his work and his dedication to the network, going through the technical difficulties at times and even the deliberate attacks, because just recently our network came under a cyber attack, and we spent a considerable amount of time getting things back up and running on the air, and thank God for Ken McClendon, our network president, CEO, and chairman. He identified the issue, and he spent the entire night and day into the next day and night to get everything back up and running, so the following hosts can still come on and do their shows. So thank you, Ken, for that. And to the cyber attackers, you have been put on notice. You're messing with the wrong ones. So with that being said, Mark is still with us, and we're talking about the
I think I am.
talk about the unemployment. What do you call it? The unemployment claims. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. Unemployment claims have dropped in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, sure they have.
Rather. And I contribute that to the government's cutting off the stimulus checks. What say you, sir?
It's so complicated to actually try to track it. I've been trying to do this all morning, trying to get hard stats on where real unemployment is, and I couldn't even find it. It was from like the Daily Wire, the Blaze, conservative independent news network, that said if we were tracking unemployment like we were 20 years ago. Real unemployment is somewhere around 20%. And so these claims of 5%, uh, they don't wash. It isn't. That's not what's going on. And I can give you anecdotal evidence that it's probably way closer to 20% than it is 5%. Everybody sees the help wanted signs now hiring all over the place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. And you're absolutely right. You look at so the February, the February jobs report came out that the economy added 467,000 jobs, and but yet the unemployment rate itself ticked up to 4%. And so
Well,
if you,
something like 5 million people quit their jobs last month.
yeah, yeah. And so when we take into consideration, and like you said, 20 years ago, the unemployment was tracked differently. And I have seen change is people who work for themselves are not counted in the unemployment numbers. The homeless is vaguely counted because they're not going to apply for unemployment. So the only data that they can actually truly extrapolate the unemployment rate from is the amount of people who are making claims for unemployment in comparison to the current census data of the population standard.
That's exactly it. But people have been out of work so long,
Mm-hmm.
they don't even qualify for unemployment anymore. They're probably on welfare. Those people aren't counted.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then we also look at the college age students who are not working. They're considered unemployed. Those who may be elderly, no longer sitting at no longer they're not on Social Security because they're not retired per se, but they just may have some kind of disability, or even those with disabilities that are not drawing unemployment. They're not in that system to be tracked. So you're absolutely correct. The numbers, the unemployment numbers are significantly. It's probably tripled, if not
Well,
doubled.
if you go for the prime demographic, and you're
Mm-hmm.
going for 18 to 62-year-olds, that demographic is probably around, and this is a spitball number, somewhere around 200 million people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
There's more than 5% of them not working.
Mm-hmm.
That's all there is to
Absolutely.
it.
And oh, by the way, if we're gonna go ahead and include, the migrant population, or I should say, the illegal immigrant population, they are in the United States nonetheless. Whether they are a bona fide U.S. citizen, by constitutional standards or not, they're still included into the 2020 census data now. So, that number is even more inflated. The true unemployment numbers is even more inflated because they can't be considered. They don't necessarily qualify to receive unemployment because they're not a U.S. citizen, but they're considered a U.S. citizen according to census data. So it skews the numbers significantly, and it doesn't paint the real picture. So for this administration,
Oh no.
for this administration to even make a claim that they brought down the unemployment from 7% when Trump left office to 4%, it would be a farce. And even for the previous administrations, they was giving inaccurate pictures of what the real unemployment actually looks like. Not removing the
Well,
fact
would
that
you
the
shut
unemployment
down?
rate has dropped. It's just not by according to these numbers.
They shut down the entire economy. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
people going back to work, to the jobs they couldn't do because of the restrictions, is
Mm-hmm.
not making new jobs. It's
Exactly.
people just returning to work. And how many small businesses went out of business? Just completely, that removed hundreds of thousands of jobs out of the legitimate economy.
Mm-hmm.
Those are never going to return.
Mm-hmm. They're not. They're not. And oh, by the way, let's not forget about the never mind COVID. losses of the business losses. Let's remember the Summer of Love 2020, the summer riots.
Oh, how many businesses were burned?
Yeah, businesses were burned down and could not claim it through their insurance. A lot of business owners I know and I spoke to, they were like, yeah, up in Minnesota and in Chicago. Got friends in both locations that own businesses. They couldn't recomp their insurance claims on their businesses because of
The insurance company's not going to let you reopen in a freaking community that burns down freaking businesses.
bingo, exactly. And they were just like, what the why the hell was I paying insurance for? It was just like for natural disasters, natural occurrences, not a bunch of hoodlums busting windows and setting your stuff on fire. And it's just like, wow.
Oh,
And
Molotov cocktails are completely natural
yeah,
disasters.
I agree. It should have been. It should have been.
Well,
But it's crazy, Mark. It is utterly crazy that so many businesses were lost. People's life savings, people's their family fortunes, so to speak. In these urban communities, so mostly is gone, never coming back, never to see the light of day again.
Nope.
And
Nope.
they don't even qualify because, mind you, they're considered self-employed. They can't even go and really get unemployment to match what they were making as a business owner.
Well, the whole point of unemployment is to not be. Well, the whole point of unemployment is supposed to be to get you through the hard times, and so you can get back on your feet and start working again. Same thing with welfare. Hey, everybody falls on hard times.
Yeah.
The stuff happens as it is, and that's meant to, get you through, and so you can get back on your feet and start doing your own thing again.
Yeah.
And what they did with some of this COVID compensation crap was paying people not to work and paying them more than they were when they were working. So what's the motivation to actually get another job again? And most of these places are actually paying $15 an hour for minimum wage.
Yeah.
So, the leftists won that thing. But, with inflation, $15 might as well be freaking $7.25 again.
Yeah, I was about to say that. The fight for 15. You notice it actually kind of quieted down since the inflation thing is going on because I think leftists. Oh, I'm not even gonna just pin it to leftists because there was some on the right that was making an argument too for it. But I think they realized with the push for it, all the money being pumped into the economy from the stimulus checks and everything, businesses are going to be businesses. They're capitalists. They're going to get every dollar they can squeeze out of a person that they possibly can. So now what they're going to do naturally, there's a surplus of money in the economy. Bring up the prices. This is how we have inflation right now. And the demand has not changed for the goods because people have now more money in their pockets from the stimulus checks than they were making at regular jobs. And so now that all that has dried up, the prices still have not driven down because people are still on a economic spending high. Although the stimulus checks have dried up, we're now crossing into income tax season. So people are going to get their income taxes back. People are picking up jobs now, so that's why we got this jobs report that essentially doubled from last month. So people are going back to work. So the market hasn't quite corrected itself yet. I would suspect April, May is when we're going to see the impact, the real impact. Go ahead.
I just saw a real letter from McDonald's the other day that they're sending out to their employees about, hey, once you get your tax return, don't quit.
Yeah.
Like, if you need to take a leave of absence, we'll work with you because you got money to spend and you don't want to come to work for a couple of weeks or whatever. But that tax return ain't going to last forever. You ain't that smart of an investor. Like, you're going to need to come back to work eventually. And as long as you don't quit, we'll bring you right back in.
Yep. Bingo. Yeah. Yeah, and you're absolutely right. Yeah, people have short term, I guess you would say tunnel vision when it comes to income taxes. We call that balling on the budget. It's like
Yeah.
you get it for you get that $3,000-4,000 if that and now you see that as extra spending money versus this is investment money. That sucks. That sucks.
Well, it happens,
It
but
does. But it's a
I'm not
rebound.
I'm not
You could also
relying
go
on
to a
my
rebound.
investment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can also see a rebound too. So, if it's something that's a long term hold for you, then it could rebound and you'll be fine and you make your gains back. But initial look is like 62. I'm like, ooh, oh, oh my god. I
I
feel you.
bought at 25. They're currently trading at like a $1.87.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, all they can do is rebound. This is definitely a long-term investment because if they fail, I think I make more money than trying to
yes,
wait.
yeah,
So
yep.
they either go belly up or they rebound. So either way, I make out. That's
Mm-hmm.
the only way I can do it.
Yeah, that's true. That's very
Yeah,
true.
one bad investment, man.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes. All right, Mark. So, hold on. I forgot to do something at the prior break. Sorry. In the news, in the news, I could talk it while I get it. In the news, there was this pastor, and by both of us being in the ministerial profession,
Yep.
in our other life, this pastor, he he took issue with being banned on Vimeo because of his videos that he posted about leaving, not being homosexual anymore, not being gay anymore, and Vimeo said that he violated community standards for posting such videos, and so he took it up with the courts, and the court actually sided with Venmo, saying that he did violate their community standards, but they cannot explain exactly what he violated by him just saying that he's no longer gay and he's professing, his change of lifestyle, and he's turned his life over to Christ and subsequently became, a pastor and everything else. I want to get your reaction, Mark, as to here's his interview right here. Take a look.
He was living a homosexual life with his partner when he had a moment with God and decided to change. Doman went on to become a pastor and married his wife and started a family. Pastor Doman took his ministry online, where he was eventually censored on the video platform called Vimeo. As you just saw, Pastor Doman was at the Supreme Court today appealing to have his case heard. We had a chance to sit down with the pastor earlier. Pastor Jim Doman, thank you for joining us on the Capitol Report.
It's great to be here, Steve. Thanks for having me on your show.
Absolutely. Now, Pastor, you were just at the Supreme Court not too long ago holding a news conference regarding a case that you were involved in. You want to appeal that case against Vimeo, the video platform. Can you tell us a little bit about this case and what's going on?
Absolutely. So I founded Church United in October of 2016. And as a ministry to pastors, helping them engage in government, helping them engage in culture. And Church United would tell the story through video of different pastors, how we've impacted them, how they're changing their cities, how they're changing their communities, their counties. So they were pastoral stories Well, one of those stories was my story. I'm a former homosexual. I shared my testimony of coming to Christ, sharing how I transitioned from or changed from a homosexual to a heterosexual, and more or less told my story. Vimeo reached out to me and said, you're in violation of our terms. We're going to terminate your account, delete your videos, not just your story, but there's potentially 5 other videos. But we're not just going to only target you because of your sexual orientation. We're going to wipe out 89 videos, 3 years of our nonprofit work of pastors sharing their stories.
And under what grounds did Vimeo try to do this on? Did they give you any explanation?
So Vimeo sent me an email, and I responded back. I'm assuming it was their legal department. I said, please help me understand. I'm a former homosexual. Why are you doing this to me? And they said, you're in violation of our terms of your agreement, and because of this, we're not only going to delete your video and these 4 other videos, we're going to completely delete and wipe out your account.
Now, I want to ask you a bit of a personal question. Sure. You say that you were a former homosexual. Yes. What was it that made you change your mind to become heterosexual?
I would say it was through a variety of traumatic experiences. But I grew up a Christian, evangelical, and one night my partner and I had gotten into a fight. And I said, I'm going to leave. And, I kind of went on my own, and he had switched all of our bank accounts, everything, and really was left with nothing because he took all the money out of our accounts and put it in with his name only. And that night, I just said, God, I'm yours again. And I didn't have any money. I only had debt on credit cards. So I just said, God, I'm yours again. And through a series of events, I moved back home with my parents and was able to reconnect with my dad, and really had a desire I wanted to get married and have a family, and really sought the Lord, and is this a possibility for me to do that? And I've been out of the lifestyle for 20 years this June, and I've been married to my wife, Amanda, 13 years in July.
Wow. So, I think there's a lot of heterosexual people, homosexual people that are under the impression that you're born one way or the other. What do you say to that? Obviously, you're defying that logic.
Yeah, I would say it is not something that's innate. It's not immutable. People are not born a homosexual. They're not born transgender. They're not born lesbian. It's environment. It's development. Now, the left will say the opposite. Oh, I'm born this way, God, because, well, you had a psychological experience, a defensive detachment order with the same-sex parent, or some type of trauma that shifted you at an age you weren't cognizantly aware of what was going on as a child. And so and part of this, there's a whole movement of former LGBTQ people who have left those lifestyles, and change is possible.
Pastor Jim Doman, thank you.
Thank you for having me. God bless you.
Okay. He certainly has a glorious mustache.
Yeah, I agree.
But that dude is tap dancing in the middle of a freaking social issue minefield. And I don't even know where to start with this. Okay, there's a bunch of people getting Dan Bongino just got kicked off of YouTube. They're pressuring Joe Rogan on Spotify. Steven Crowder's been demonetized on YouTube. They have basically what's called the Crowder rule on YouTube. You can't bring up certain things that go against the official narrative or the message. Mm-hmm. So that dude is just did he violate community standards? I violate community standards all the time. Whatever he did, it's just going against what's the popular social narrative. But the one thing that got me is when he was counting his homosexuality like sobriety.
Mm.
I've been 20 years heterosexual. Like,
Mm.
nobody counts that unless it's like it was like an alcoholic. Like, oh, I've been 20 years sober. I
Mm.
mean, it's it's
That's
obviously
interesting.
a struggle for the guy, but I've never heard that before. I've been 20 years straight. So
Yeah, I have not either. Well, no, well, hmm. Not put that way. Yeah, I haven't either. And I, I, I find it. What's crazy about this story is that there has to be more to it, and I'm gonna have to look up Vimeo, whatever they're called, because I'm not on that platform. I'm gonna have to look up their community standards, and I would actually have to take the time to read through it to see
oh,
what
good
what
luck
is
with
it
that.
that was there that he possibly could have potentially violated. If
Wait, just espousing Christian beliefs gets you in trouble. Like, there's stores getting in trouble just for espousing Christian beliefs. We went through this last week with Denzel Washington. You know, you
mm,
got was it Chris Pratt? I think is his name. One of
yeah,
the one of the Chris's. I don't know. There's a ton of them, but like he's getting a freaking raft of shit for going. Oh, I'm a Christian and a hunter, and I eat what I kill and stuff like that. So the list of things like him saying, "Well, I was a homosexual and now I'm not." That's probably a strike. Him going, "Well, I'm a Christian." That's almost definitely a strike. Uh, his whole story is detrimental to what the the social justice warriors are currently, bannering down your local street.
true. That is very true. So, what are your thoughts about when he said, and me personally, I grapple with this one daily. I literally do. I grapple with it daily as it comes up. As people say, "Oh, this person is gay or lesbian or they're transgender and they were born this way." He espouses that there's no such thing as being born into you know a sexuality or a sexual orientation. You pick that up from your environment. What are your thoughts about that? Because like I said, I'm on the fence with it. I'm like I don't. Because we
That
have to look at.
goes in.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
That's really going in the nature and nurture thing. I don't like a lot of people that have been sexually abused early tend to grow up with uh, problems.
Hmm.
As far as uh, I don't know. Honestly, I think you're either born. I think you are born homosexual. If that's what if you're homosexual, like, 'cause there's no way to teach me to be attracted to a man. You know, like I can't be taught to be like, ooh, Well, I mean, obviously you can see a guy and be like, oh shit, like that dude is ripped. But it's not like I want to have sex with him. So I I'm not like that, But I mean, so
True.
I don't know. But the other thing is I was raised in a very conservative church-going family. Uh, was a good little boy. Got a Bible for my church on the day I graduated college. Married a stripper. So I mean,
So I love talking to you, man.
stuff happens.
it, you know, so and like I said, I am on the fence with this one. Like it is really really hard because I dealing with society. You see like that little 2-year-old girl that she's acting like a what we called growing up a tomboy. She's acting
Yeah,
very masculine for her age.
it's completely
She's
natural.
jumping over the fence and she's trying to play GI Joe. It's like you wasn't taught that. You
So
wasn't. That was something that was ingrained in you because your mom is like trying to put a dress on you and you're fighting her about it. So there's that, and then you do have where you see boys that are raised in a house of all women, and so they pick up those traits of let me brush my hair, and let me put on some makeup to cover up these pimples, type of thing, as they hit puberty. So it to me, it's like there may be some biological deposition there to say yes, there's some people that may be actually born into that mentality or that lifestyle or whatever you want to call it, and then there's some that are just exposed to it and they adapted themselves to that environment. And like I said, it's hard for me to like nail it down, and we shouldn't, as a society, try to pin it to one thing, if that makes sense.
Well, it comes back to the nature versus nurture thing, and that's for philosophers to try to figure out. Like, hell, I think when I was 5, I had a My Little Pony stuffed animal. My grandmother didn't turn around and start putting me in dresses.
Right.
So it's one of the tomboy. Yeah. So I mean, the tomboy. My daughter is a tomboy. But she likes doing, I don't know, I completely normal for a 9-year-old as far as I'm concerned. But just because she doesn't like dresses and stuff like that, it doesn't mean I'm gonna be like, well, time to get you on some testosterone. Like that. No, that's just not how it's supposed to happen.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. No, I agree.
But no, I mean, it's a nature versus nurture issue, and like I said, people have been struggling with that philosophy for decades, if not more. And the whole homosexual thing, I mean, it almost has to be more natural because homosexuality exists outside of the human race. Like there's homosexual dolphins and monkeys and kinds of other stuff. So it almost has to be a natural thing. But on the nurture side, can somebody learn to like that? I'm absolutely sure. Like I said, with people, the victims of sexual assault often have like a really broken identity. So you expect them to grow and mature naturally? Probably not. They had a very traumatic event early in their life. Changes your brain structure.
I agree. I agree with you. That's why I said, it for anyone, and this is where I would disagree with Pastor Doman when I saw his name. Not to be prude here or funny, but when I saw the name Duman, I pronounced it as Duman. And it just, my mind just went to, the dark military humor. I was like...
Yeah, I know. This is an unfortunate lad's name.
Yeah, I was like, Anyways, but I would disagree with Pastor Doman that you're saying that people are not born a certain way. Their sexual orientation is not from birth. I would disagree, but I would not relegate it to that. It's he should just left it at there's two domains, there's two avenues, like you said, nurture and nature. So I would have left it. I would have put it that way. But if he was going to be a stickler about you're not born gay, I would say I'm gonna have to disagree with you, because we see plenty of evidence in society where people carry like the gay trait, like they display those those tendencies at an early age without exposure.
Well,
so
and this is the thing. If I can interrupt for a second.
Yeah, please.
This is the thing. Right now, it is being forced down people's throats.
It is right now.
So, what type of damage that's doing, I have no idea. But like, it's everybody's heard of it. If you freaking watch the news for 5 minutes, the what are they, the drag queens, the drag queens library reading thing. Yep. It's like it's a huge freaking movement for some reason. What in the shit is going on there?
Yep.
And then you got these rappers and all this other crap. There was the one rapper made a bunch of controversy. He was like, what, giving the devil a lap dance in one of his videos or some crazy whatever. So, okay, I mean, like, in all this transgender stuff is just being shoved down people's throats. You're talking about, like, what? Let's be generous and say it's 0.5% of the population. They're actually transgender or whatever.
Yeah.
But
you're right.
There's like you can't turn around and not hear some sort of reporting about transgender. You just they're everywhere. And they're absolutely nowhere. Like in representation, they're so overrepresented in news stories. You'd think that 1 in 10 people were transgender instead of 1 in like 500,000.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, I predict that the present LGBTQ plus push will subsequently devolve into where people actually just don't want to be part of that lifestyle. They don't want to be associated with it because they're so heavily pushing it. You know, so
they squash those stories. They squash those stories of people that are like detransitioning or got a certain way into it and went, oh shit, I messed up real bad. They squash them. I mean, you can find them, but they're going to be on the commonly the conservative. Or the independent conservative news channels.
Mark, thank you for being a part of my shenanigans today. Good sir.
Yeah, we didn't really act up too bad. Facebook, currently on 21 days until I'm off of restriction. Twitter at SSGT Woodhead, the Staff Sergeant Woodhead, at Staff Sergeant Woodhead. And that's about all I use.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Woodhead has been with us. Hang on the line, brother, as I close out. And
will do.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you can catch me on all platforms at rpurham, RPURHAM. You see it right above my head there. You can support my campaign for Congress at rpurhamforus.com. And we will see you all on Monday. Like I said, stick around. In the next minute, Dave McQuell will be popping up on with Global Impact from West Africa. So keep it locked right here. And be safe. Have a great weekend. Be blessed. And we will see you on Monday, God willing. And God bless. Take care.
You are listening to the Exceptional Conservative Network. For more information, go to www.theexceptionalconservativeshow.com.